Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is a very special one. We're going to find out if we are still loving our 2020 favorites. It's been a long time, but there are some products that I rediscovered and I fell in love with, and some products that I have always used on my channel. So if you guys want to see how I achieved this look and what were my 2020 favorites and do I still love it or not, then please keep on watching. For the primer, I mentioned Benefit's Professional Primer, and I can tell you for a fact that this is definitely the primer that I go towards whenever I want to hide my pores and get like a smooth skin. This year I had a lot of textures on my face, which I hope 2022 doesn't bring. So this is definitely one of my favorite pore filling primers for sure. Now let's move on. For the foundation, again, no surprise at all, it is going to be my L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear, and I am in the shade Golden Sun. Do I love it? Have you seen any of my videos? If you ask one drugstore foundation, yeah, I'm gonna say this name. And I don't think, yeah, I do have another favorite for this year, but I still feel like this stands right up there on the top. If you ask me, still my favorite drugstore would be this for sure. I do have like a close second, but this definitely stands on the top. See how easily blendable it is? You don't have to worry about anything. It just matches perfectly. It's just overall a very, very good foundation. I think because of this foundation, I've stopped using my NARS Aruba foundation, the NARS Radiant Finish foundation, just because I feel like this is so similar to that. Like, at least on my skin tone, it's so similar. So let's move on to the concealer. My best concealer for 2020 was Colourpop's No Filter Concealer, and I am in the shade Medium Dark 32. I still count on this. Like, of course, there are other concealer that has like taken the place of this, but this still is like one of like the finest, smoothest concealer that I go towards. Like in my everyday life, if I do not have like time to like wear foundation or anything, I just plop this everywhere where I need it and just buff it into my skin, and it does the same thing. It's super smoothing underneath the eyes. You'll see it. If you guys have not seen my 2020 favorites, I'll link it in the iCards above for you guys to check it out. I feel like a lot of the products that I mentioned in 2020 favorites are still like definitely my favorites. Some which I've like not revisited very often just because there have been so many good things this year too. But overall, I would say the things that I mentioned in 2020 favorites video are still like there on the top. See, my complexion looks so good already. I am loving it. Okay, now let's move on to a cream bronzer. The cream bronzer that I mentioned in 2020, one of my favorites was Fenty. I won't lie, this has definitely been replaced. I am right now not gravitating towards this at all, I would say, just because I've found a lot of cream products which are better than this. This, by the way, I am in the shade 05 Teddy. This is more of like that caramel suntan brown. It's a little more on the cooler tone side, but I'm gonna use this today just because I feel like the other cream products that I'm gonna mention in 2021 favorites is definitely better and more affordable. Like, then why? You know, then why? Not saying that this is bad by any means, but I just prefer the other ones better. But I love this tone, like especially when I'm tan and I'm looking for like a sculpted look. I really like this. But definitely not a 2021 favorites. If you guys want to find out what is my 2021 favorites, stay tuned, be subscribed to this channel. It's gonna come this year for sure. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I'm gonna rank everything, my favorite drugstore products, my favorite high-end products. We're gonna do like a, I would say, should we name like a Smithy Awards? I don't know. Should we do like a Smitmas month? I don't know. Leave down suggestions if you have any. If you have a name to give for the yearly favorites video, I'll be happy to incorporate that in my videos, because this is going to be like my second time that I'm doing my yearly favorites, and I cannot wait you guys to give you all my recommendations, all my favorite products, because they're so good. So good. Okay, let's move on to the cream blush. Yeah, this is still one of my favorite cream blushes, and this is from Tower 28, and this is in the shade Magic Hour. Now, last year I only had Magic Hour with me, and this year I purchased two more shades. Golden Hour and Power Hour. But again, the formula is lovely. Whatever shade you use, I mean, I am pretty sure you're gonna like it. Like, I adore this shade. Like a nudie pink shade, like a neutral tone. Oh my god. Yes, sign me up for that anytime. And it's not even like that expensive. I know you can find it in Sephora, but like as compared to the other Sephora blushes, I would say this and LYS Beauty are the ones that are a little more on the affordable side in Sephora, rather than our Dior's and I don't know, a lot of them. Okay, so let's move on to the face powder. The face powder that I used to love, like absolutely love. I have two face powders actually, one in more of a loose format and one more on the pressed format. I'm going to start with the pressed one. The pressed powder that I used to love is from Covergirl, and this is their clean fresh pressed powder in the shade Light. I used to use this all the time, but this year it was a year for powders for me for sure. But not saying that this is bad by any means, because, and I especially use this underneath the eyes because it just smooths it like no other. You can you see the difference? Like, that's crazy to me. I still love it. Like underneath the eyes, if I'm going for like, especially for a glam look, you need this. Especially if you have texture, you like it for sure. Like, look at that. Can you see that? I'm gonna apply that in my center of my face too. Look how smooth my center of the face looks. That's crazy to me. Like, I love it. I don't know why did I stop using it, but I still love it. Okay, for the loose setting powder, I chose my Maybelline's Fit Me powder, and this I'm in the shade 25 medium. I still use this all the time. Off camera, for sure, I use it all the time. I have actually two with me. I have one in 25, which is more of a deeper shade, and I have one in the shade 20, which is a light medium shade. Now, let's move on to the bronzer. The bronzer that I was loving in 2020 is definitely from Milani, and this is the Milani Silky Matte Bronzer, and this is in the shade Suntan. Oh my god, I love it. I think this is definitely one among the favorite bronzers from drugstore. I feel like in 2020, I fell mostly in love with drugstore bronzers rather than high-end bronzers, but this year I definitely do have an inclination towards high-end bronzers, just because I felt that this year a lot of them were like really good. But not saying that drugstores have fallen behind, just because I feel like Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, Milani Silky Matte Bronzer, there's so many that are like so good, like Wet n Wild Bronzer. I just love them so very much. Like, I don't think you need to just like go run and buy a product from a high-end category if you can find the same thing or even better from a drugstore, you know? Then why spending the extra money when you can get something like really good at an affordable price? Okay, now let's move on to blush. The powder blush that I absolutely loved in 2020 was from Luna Beauty, and this is their Moon Prism blush palette. Now, if you ask me one blush palette to recommend to you guys, I would still recommend this. I feel that the variety is absolutely beautiful. You have like pale pinks, you have more of a sheeny pinky, you know, that NARS Orgasm kind of a blush that is like more of a pinky golden shade. You have more of a coral shade, you have more of a neutral pink shade, you have a mauve blush, and you have a nude blush. I mean, I think everybody can find something really good. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but there's a plane flying by right on top of my house. Okay, So today what we're going to do is I'm going to mix Twilight and Stargaze together, and I'm going to apply that as my blush. This is so pigmented and so blendable. Like, I truly feel like if you are not like big on makeup and you want like one blush palette in your whole collection and just to be content, I think you should go for this. Like, I really feel that you would be very, very happy. Okay, now let's move on to a highlighter. I don't know what's up with Ofra nowadays, but like my favorite highlighter was definitely Rodeo Drive, this one. And yeah, I cannot complain. I cannot say no to this. I still feel like they make like one of the best highlighters formula in the market. And yeah, I still love it. I don't use Ofras too much on my channel nowadays just because of the controversy and all, but yeah, I cannot deny that their formula is still very, very good. Need to put it on the tip of the nose. I need to be a reindeer. Just not a red-nosed reindeer, but a sparkly tip. It's not sparkly, okay? Glowy tip nose reindeer. Because why not? Now let's set our face. For the setting spray, I did mention my Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray, and I still love it. So I'm going to take that. And from the drugstore, I think I did mention the Milani, what's that called? Milani what? Stay all day? Keep it matte? Oh my god, I don't know. The Milani setting spray, I think from the drugstore, that is really good one. Okay, let's move on to the brows because I feel like very, very incomplete. For the brow pencil, I did mention my Benefit Cosmetic Precisely My Brow Pencil, and I am in the shade 3.5. Right now, if you ask me, I would definitely go a shade darker. Earlier, I was a lot more on the lighter side. I don't know why. I was very intimidated by, you know, eyebrows in general. So let me finish off my brows and I'll get right back. Is it a good brow pencil? Yes, for sure. But can you find like similar brow pencil, if not better, from the drugstore? Yes, for sure. Like, I absolutely love my Maybelline one. I love the L'Oreal one. I love the NYX brow tint pen. Like, you don't need this, but is it good? Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's move on to the eyes. I know you guys are like, where is your eyeshadow palette? Yeah, so for 2020 favorite, I definitely did mention my pumpkin spice palette from Too Faced, and I still feel like this color story you just cannot beat. Now, I don't use this much on the camera just because you cannot find it now. It's like a holiday palette from Too Faced, but can you beat this color story? I don't think so. Like, I so much like this color story. I cannot even tell you. So let's start off by using this. I'm going to take this shade, which is called Fall For It, which is more of a corally shade. I don't know what am I going to do. I really don't know. But we'll wing it. Like, look at the pigmentation. Love it. I absolutely love it, man. And the scent, oh my god. As soon as I dip my brush into these eyeshadows, I feel so happy because of the scent. I know a lot of you guys would not be like too much into scent, but I look forward for opening this palette just because of the scent. And the color story, of course, but scent is definitely an added plus point for me. I'm going to take the same shade, Fall For It, and I'm also going to blow that on my lower lash line. Now I'm going to take this shade, which is called Warm and Cozy from the palette. And this is a beautiful, I would say like a more of a maroon brown. So I'm going to take a tiny little bit first. I'm just going to build up the outer corners. I'm going to take this hot pink shade, which is called You Spicy, and I'm going to blend that, like mesh it right in the center of that deep dark mulberry shade, and also drive it a little more in the crease, but mainly in the center just to blend that darker shade to the lid shade that we're going to apply so that there's no harsh edges. Okay, now for the lip shade, I'm going to take this shade, which is called Oh My God from the palette. And this is a beautiful pinky shimmery shade. I'm going to take that like right in my inner third of my eyelid. And this shade definitely does have like a lot of texture to it. So it gives a lot more dimension on the eyes. Like, look at that. I don't even know if you guys can see it in camera or not. But that's like so much more dimension. I like it. Now I'm going to mix this shade, Warm and Cozy, with this shade, which is called Cocoa Drizzle from the palette. And I'm just going to concentrate that on the outer corners, just to give it more of a depth. Just like that. And for my inner corners, I'm actually going to take this shade, which is called Want a Piece of Me. I'm going to take that right in the inner corners. Now for liner and mascara, my favorites from 2020 was Wet n Wild Mega Liner for the eyeliner. And for the mascara, I always used to choose Lancome Monchaux Big Mascara. So I'm going to finish off my eyes and I'll get right back. Now let's move on to the eye pencils. Can you see the volume on my eyes? I mean, I love that mascara so very much. For the eye pencils, I still love my Essence Extreme Lasting Eye Pencils. Like, I discovered this in 2020 and I am still absolutely head over heels on this eye pencil. I'm going to take But First Espresso today, which is more of a brown liner. I'm going to line my waterline. It just lasts for such a long time. Like, I just love it. Now let's move on to the lips. For the lips, the lip liner of my choice, even now, is Colourpop's Lippy Pencil, and this is in the shade BFF3. And talking about lipstick, my absolute favorite high-end lipsticks is from Pat McGrath. And this one is in the shade Lavish. Don't go by the shade, like, I love Pat McGrath lipstick. This is more of a Luxe Trans formula, but I absolutely love the Matte Trans formula also. But because this has been quite some time that I've not used this, I'm going to use this one today. It just matches with my eye look so well. Love it. And I think that's all, guys. How do you like this? Do you still like the makeup that you're seeing on my face? Because I still feel like all of the things that I mentioned today, I still use it. Like, I absolutely loved all my 2020 favorites. And I cannot wait to share my 2021 favorites with you guys. But I still feel like you can achieve like such a stunning look with all these products too. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. And now, after me using all these things, most of the things I still use it. But I don't know why did I forget this powder, because I am loving the way it looks on my face. So I cannot wait to rediscover and love these products even more. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did like this, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring the notification bell so that you're notified every time that I post next. I generally upload 3 videos every week, every Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays at 9 AM Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!